College Algebra 4.4, Graphing Polynomial Functions, number 5. We're going to graph this polynomial, which is to the fifth power polynomial, and first we'll find y-intercepts. The way that we find the y-intercepts is by making all the x's 0. So this will be negative 0 to the fifth power plus 0 to the fourth power plus 6 times 0 to the third power. And this will all give us 0. So that's our y-intercepts is 0, 0. Next, we're going to find the x-intercepts. We find the x-intercepts by setting the function equal to 0 and then solving. So, setting the function equal to 0 and then solve for x. I'm going to factor out the greatest common factor, which will be negative x cubed, leaving us a positive x squared minus x minus 6. Next, I'm going to factor this trinomial into two binomials. Negative x cubed times the binomial x times x, and let's say 3 times 2, and negative 3 and positive 2. Okay. And now my x-intercepts will be, for this one right here, x equals 0. This one implies x equals 3, and this implies x equals negative 2. Alright, so I now have my x-intercepts. Thirdly, I want to know my end behavior for my function. My end behavior will be based on the first term here in my polynomial, which is the negative x to the fifth, negative x to the fifth. A negative coefficient with an odd power means that when we graph, the ends will be, left side will be up and the right side will be down. Alright, so let's take all these facts and then we're going to graph. Also, we'll use as a fourth, we're going to talk about multiplicity, but we'll get to that fourth step in a second. Alright, so our graph is here. Okay, first, the y-intercept is 0, so we'll go here and make it 0. Right, our x-intercepts are 0, again, 3, which is here, and negative 2, which is there. And next, our end behavior is the right side is going to go down, so we'll go down here, and the other side is going to go up. Okay, and now, lastly, my multiplicities. Okay, as I travel through my graph from left to right, I travel this way right here toward my negative 2, and my negative 2 has a multiplicity right here of 1 for the power, so that means I'm going to go straight through and head toward the 0. The 0 here, x equals 0, the highest power here is 3, so that's multiplicity 3, so it's going to make a little S curve. It's going to go flat for just a second and then come out. See, that's the S curve right there. And then lastly, we're going to go toward the 3. The multiplicity on that one is going to be here is a 1, understood 1, so it's going to go straight through. And this is a sketch of the polynomial f of x. Okay, let's do that again here. Okay, first we're going to find y-intercepts for this function. So the y-intercepts we'll find by making all the x's 0. So this will be 0 cubed minus 0 squared minus 9 times 0 plus 9 and 0, 9. That's our y-intercept. Next, our x-intercept. Our x-intercepts we'll find by taking our polynomial x cubed minus x squared minus 9x plus 9, setting it equal to 0, and then solving for x. Okay, I'm going to factor this by grouping. So these two right here, I'm going to factor the GCF out of these two, which will get x minus 1. If I factor out the GCF out of these two, I'll get negative 9 times x minus 1. And now my GCF is x minus 1, so I'll factor that out, x minus 1 times x squared minus 9. All those equal 0. And then I'll factor the x squared minus 9, because that's a difference of two squares, into two conjugates, x minus 3 and x plus 3. Therefore, my zeros are x equals 1, x equals 3, and x equals negative 3, or my x-intercepts. And finally, my end behavior, well, not finally, but end behavior, will be based on the first term, which is x cubed. So f of x cubed, which is positive and, let's see, odd powered. So it means the right side will go up and the left side will go down. Okay, now let's begin the process of drawing our graph, and then we'll get the multiplicities at the end. Okay, my y-intercept is 0, 9, which is right about here. Okay, 0, 9. My x-intercepts are 1 here, 3, let's put 3 over there, and negative 3, let's put negative 3 over there. Okay, and then my end behavior is that this side will go up and this side will go down. Alright, now let's start traveling from left to right. As I travel toward my negative 3, right here, negative 3 intercept, my multiplicity is 1 because the power on this factor is 1. So it'll go straight through. Okay, and I start heading toward my next intercept, which is 9, and then my next intercept, which is 1. The multiplicity on 1 is also a 1, so it's going to go straight through that one. So straight through, and then travel toward my 3. And the multiplicity on x equals 3 is also a 1, so it's going to go straight through. Alright, so this is a sketch of my graph. Alright, number 7. Number 7, we're going to first find the y-intercept by making all the x's 0. So this will be 1 minus 0, x cubed, and then 3 minus 0, x squared, and 5 minus 0. Okay, 1 cubed would be 1, 3 squared would be 9, and 5 minus 0 is 5. So 1 times 9 times 5, which is 45. And that's my y-intercept. Secondly, my x-intercept. I'll take all my terms, or my polynomial, and I'll set everything equal to 0. And then solve for x for each factor. So for this factor right here, 1 minus x set equals 0. This implies x is 1. For this next factor, x minus 3 set equal to 0. This implies x is 3. And the last one, x minus 5 minus x equals 0, implies x is 5. So those are my x-intercepts. Thirdly, my end behavior. To find my end behavior, I'm going to reverse all my terms here. So instead of 1 minus x, I'm going to say x and a positive 1 to the third power. And expand that to negative x plus 1, negative x plus 1. So this is just written as negative x and a minus 1, but written 3 times. Okay. And furthermore, this will be written, next one will be written as a negative x and a positive 3, written twice. And this last one will be written as a negative x and a positive 5, written once. Okay. So if I were to FOIL this and multiply all my first terms, I would end up with f of x equals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 negative x's, which gives me positive x to the 6th power. Okay, so that'll be positive x to the 6th power. Alright, and what remains is my graph. Okay, and, oh sorry, that'll mean both ends will go up, since that's positive and even. Alright, so my graph will be based on my y-intercept, which is 0.45. I'll put it here. And then my x-intercepts are going to be 1. Let's put that here. Broke that. 3. And then 5. Okay. And let's see, my end behavior, this side will go up, this side will go up. So this side goes up here, and this side goes up here, it'll also go through the y-intercept. Okay, so those are my end behaviors. Now, let's go backwards, or not backwards, but go from left to right. And as I go through 1, I notice that my 1 has a multiplicity of 3. That means that it's going to be an S-curve, so it's going to go flat for just a second, and then come down and start heading toward the 3. Okay, so let's draw that a little neater, erase that little extra there. Okay, there we go. All right, now my 3 has a multiplicity of 2. That means it's going to bounce there. So I'm going to go here and bounce. Okay, and my 5 has a multiplicity of 1. That means I'm going to go straight through. Okay, and this is the sketch of my polynomial.